We're going to break down the vaunted NFC West. Hands down, the best division in football, top to bottom. They don't have a bad team. Their worst team has gotten so much better that it could possibly be the best team. So we're going to break this thing down, let you know how it's going to unfold, expectations versus reality. Y'all know how we do this thing, just like we broke it down last week.
Y'all really seem to like that, too, so we're here for you.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to start this thing off from the top with the 2020 division winners, the Seattle Seahawks. 12-4 last season, first in the division. What is their expectation?
The Seahawks this year, I think they're expecting about a 13-4 record. This is a team that had a little bit of discrepancy at first with Russell Wilson, and when it first happened, until Seattle reacted, I was like, I don't have a good feeling about Seattle going into this year. The whole division was, kind of quiet, everybody handling their P's and Q's, and you had this, outburst from Seattle, but they folded quick. Seattle got him help, and they dealt with the offseason very well. I think they're going to expect Russell Wilson to go for an MVP run this year, a guy that's never had votes in the running. And, it feels like they do expect this every year, but I feel like we're going to see maybe a career year from Russell Wilson, realistically, with the 17th game. I'm feeling like we can maybe see a 5,000-yard passing season. He's never had that before. He did lose a Phillip Dorsett and a David Moore, but you still got DK. You've still got, Tyler Lockett as well, who you just extended. So that's a elite wide receiver duo in the NFL. Then also, I think the defense is really going to look to improve through Aldon Smith and Pierre, Desir, who are coming in to supplement the Griffin brothers leaving. And I think it's pretty cool about them. Both of them playing at UCF, both of them with the Seahawks. And now once Shaquille Griffin left, the corner, the brother Shaquem wanted to go to Jacksonville as well. So they're really trying to stick together. Love seeing that from them. And Aldon Smith and Pierre Desir, they're no slouches. They have respect in the NFL. They're some veterans. And then Seattle's really tired of being a first-round, second-round team. They're looking for the NFC title game this year. I think they are 100%. They are one of the teams that the fan base is really, really bought in this year because you saw the defense a little bit trying to uptick towards the end and losing some key players, but overall having a decent offseason. Yeah, 3 draft picks, and they might have only came away with 3 picks as well, but they made some moves when they needed to. Now, realistically, I do think, like I said, Russell Wilson, career high in passing yards, career high in touchdowns. I think he'll be second in MVP. You know who I got winning it. So I think he'll be second in MVP voting this year. And it'll be a great season for him. The Griffin brothers leaving, like I said, that does hurt the team. But Pierre Desir is no slouch. Aldon Smith coming off the edge. And they added another edge as well, Kerry Hyde from San Francisco. So they tried to keep that same trend of the defense ticking up. And then I'm going to give them a go on the NFC title game. Absolutely. I say they'll make it. Don't know who they're going to be there against, but I've got faith in this Seahawks team this year because the offense has always been there. They're letting Russ cook. Thank God it's kind of social media broke through to him. Let Russ cook. Let him potentially chase the MVP. Now we're trying to bring around this defense, so we'll see. I got them winning the division, going 13-4 this year.
Okay. I see the expectation for the Seattle Seahawks at 13-4, same as you do, first in the division. Their expectation is absolutely a Super Bowl run, not just the NFC Championship. The 12s, they're expecting another Super Bowl. They went back-to-back years under this same regime.
Yep.
They've been itching for it. They're thirsty for it. Their team is always in the running. It's finishing at 12-4 last year. They had all the reason to expect that they should be a legit contender to go to a Super Bowl. Now, in reality, they got a disgruntled Russ that's acting like he's not. He just realized that he can't leave. He has no leverage. And the team is like, Russ, sit down. There's nothing you can do.
Right.
They still have a weak defense. Regardless of the moves that they made, they're at best, they'll be in middle of the road, which would be an improvement, but still weak by any other measure. And they don't have money. They can't just bring people in.
Right.
They're not in a situation where they can just bring in players to stop gaps.
Right.
Like Pete Carroll has to be a genius and bring in nobodies, or no names rather, not nobodies, but people that we don't recognize that he gets as diamonds in the rough, which he was able to do that when he first came into Seattle because he was fresh out of the college scene.
Yep.
He'd been coaching in the Pac for 10 years, and he knew all the players. So for multiple seasons, he was drafting guys that most other draft rooms did not know about, and he's getting them in late rounds, and they were really good. He no longer has that edge. He doesn't have a hand in the college football game like that anymore.
Right.
So he's at the same disadvantage that they are. So he doesn't have that drafting advantage at his hands. So what I'm looking at They're playing the AFC South. They got Tennessee, Indy, Houston, and Jacksonville. I got them going 2-2 against that division. They also play the NFC North. Green Bay, Chicago, Minnesota, Detroit. I can also see them going 2-2 against this division. Not sure which that second loss will come from. It's going to be either Chicago or Minnesota, one or the other. I mean, Minnesota does catch them. If they play at Minnesota on a Sunday at 1 o'clock and it's not on TV, then Minnesota will win. It's got to be that specific. Because, Kirk Cousins is a killer when he's not on primetime.
Absolutely.
That would be a game they could lose. I mean, I have to go and actually look at the schedule in depth to see when they play them and where they play them. If they play them at 1 o'clock, I'll take Minnesota. But now you've got your other 3 games, which are based off of you winning the division last year. You got the Washington football team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the New Orleans Saints. Those are your 3 games based from last season. I got Seattle going 3-0 in those games. I don't think any of these teams pose enough of a threat on both sides of the football to beat the Seattle Seahawks. And then we got their division. San Francisco twice, the Rams twice, and the Cardinals twice. 4-2. I got them splitting against Frisco, splitting against the Rams, and sweeping the Cardinals for a 4-2 record, which will ultimately land them at 11-6 for the season. I think that'll be a very good year for them. 11-6 should make the wild card. Not mad at it at all. And the fact that I just told you that should make the wild card, that lets you know they're not winning the division in my bracket.
Tough. Tough.